In this session of looking at Svantek Supervisor, we're going to look at working our way around the data browser and looking at the summary results of the measurements that we make. So this is our catalogue of results. Specifically here I'm looking at the noise dosimetry results, but of course they're all pretty much the same depending on the different instruments and applications that we are interested in. So once the runs are downloaded, they go into our catalogue and we see them shown in this part of the screen. Each one of the rows represents a different measurement that's been downloaded. We have columns for the information here, the location where some information has been entered, the user, the particular task, whether or not there are any voice comment notes associated with a particular recording, where the measurements came from, so the different types of noise dosimeters may appear here, serial numbers of the instruments to distinguish between them, measurement date, duration, and you'll see that some of the information is actually off the screen to the right hand side. So we can use the scroll bar along the bottom edge to just move the display over and see the information that was initially hidden. It's possible also to organize this information a little bit better. Some of the columns that we may not want we can get rid of. For example, the unit name here. We might not want to see that to give us more space to see the results more clearly. Simply put the mouse up on the top edge here in the column header, right click, find the unit name in the list and uncheck it, and that will get rid of that particular column. Similarly, the other possibility is that we are able to move the columns from their existing positions to bring them closer to the left hand edge. For example, if we wanted the time-weighted average values for our readings to be more obvious and more easily seen, just click and drag that along, and let's just position that immediately after the profile listing. Slide back here. Okay, we can see that we can't quite see that one, so let's look at another possibility, which is to just reduce the width of the columns to bring our results on screen. So this is possible for us to do as well. If we want to add information to our table of results, we just right click in the header and select the particular value from the list. So if we want to bring back the unit name, we'll just check that and you'll see that this has been added to the very end of the list of columns of information. So anything that you add in always goes to the very end of the list, where you can then drag and drop it to the position that you want it to occupy. It's also possible to reorder the rows of information here based on any of the headers of the columns by just simply clicking. So at the moment, if I click in the date and time column, I can order things from the oldest to the newest, or from the newest to the oldest. Again, clicking here on the duration takes us from shortest run to longest run. This is often quite useful when we're looking at things like the time-weighted averages that show us the worst cases by clicking so that the highest values are at the top of the list. The information in the table here can be also quickly extracted by highlighting a run. You'll see the run at the bottom of the screen here. I can right click and export the table selection to copy this numerical text data out to a spreadsheet file. The key piece of information to always remember when looking at the information here in the summary results table is that the information is always from the major profile in the instrument that you're dealing with. This is always the information stored according to profile 1. So in this particular case, with our noise dosimetry readings, we've set the OSHA hearing conservation results to be the setup in profile 1. At the moment in this table we can't see the results from the other dosimeters that were in these measurements. To do that, we would need to look at creating a session.